Good morning. My name is Betsy Gosnell, and I'm the Executive Director of Coshocton County Youth Leadership. I would like to welcome everyone to the Coshocton County Youth Leadership Class of 2021 Pay It Forward project presentations. In November, the youth were given $100 from the Coshocton Foundation Trustees with the only instructions to make a difference in someone's life. This morning, we have the opportunity to hear from these youth and learn how they practice philanthropy in our community, how they paid it forward to the community by donating their funds to an organization or an individual in need. I don't know what these projects will be, so I am also as excited as everyone else to learn how these young adults made a difference in someone's life. I would like to introduce our first speaker this morning from Ridgewood High School, Tara Dennis.
Hello, my name is Tara Dennis and I am a junior at Ridgewood High School. I have made the decision of donating the money we were given to United Way. I had a hard time deciding what organization to donate to because I originally had an idea of donating to Relay for Life, but after talking to several people, I don't think that they have an organization anymore. So I talked to my mom about it, and she sparked the idea in my head about donating to United Way. After receiving her help, I thought that United Way was a very great organization to donate to. I had researched a lot about United Way, and what inspired me the most about them was their drive to help out other organizations in helping to serve Coshocton County. As the giver, it felt like a very great honor to be able to give back to an organization because they worked very hard in what they do for the community. Walking into the building, I was actually feeling quite nervous, but as soon as I started the conversation with Lynn Miser, I eventually started to feel more relaxed. I think Lynn felt very happy and excited about the donation. She seemed very blown away because she had told me that previous members of the CCYL group donated to their other organizations that were part of United Way, but not to them directly. She seemed very interested in the Pay It Forward project and wanted to know more about it. She asked me very many questions. I didn't have all of the answers, but I tried to answer as much as possible. After talking a little bit about the project, we exchanged a hug and took a picture together for their Facebook page. I walked out of the United Way building with confidence because I knew the donation meant a very great deal to her. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michaela White, and I am a junior at Riverview High School and a part of the Coshocton County Youth Leadership Class of 2021. Before I continue, I would like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for not only giving me the wonderful opportunity to be a part of the Coshocton County Youth Leadership, but for also allowing me to take part in something that can benefit the community by giving back. When we had first learned about our Pay It Forward project at the opening retreat, I had absolutely no idea what I would be doing with my money. What I did know is that I wanted to do something just as important to me as it would be to the community. For a while, I thought about what I should do, and nothing really came to mind. Before I knew it, December came around, and we were told to pick up our $100 that was to be used for this project. And again, I had no idea what to do with it. My main problem was that I struggled to get out of my comfort zone. A few weeks went by, and I had a few ideas of what I might do, but I never really stuck with any of them. Eventually, I got down to the last few weeks, and I still did not know. It was hard for me to get over the anxiety of talking to strangers or doing something new. I was at a complete loss, so I gave in and I asked a few people for some ideas. Finally, my father and I came up with the idea. For my Pay It Forward project, I decided to use the money to buy food and other supplies for our local animal shelter. I had seen a few announcements that they were running low on many necessities and thought, this is it. This is what I need to do. So, I took the money and went to the store and bought as many cleaning supplies, food, toys, collars, and treats as I could and brought it down to the animal shelter. When I arrived at the animal shelter, I was greeted by a very nice woman who looked so surprised to see so many supplies. She instantly thanked me and told me that they had just run out of many of the things that I had brought. After I had helped her unload everything and bring it inside, I had felt good. There's no other way to describe it. It had felt so good to do something that had no direct benefit to me, but benefit to other people. Donating to the animal shelter was also something that felt important to me personally. When I was younger, my stepmother and I would volunteer there, and by doing this project, I felt like I was connecting doing something beneficial in my childhood to helping the community now. I learned many things from doing this project. One lesson that stuck with me the most is that it does not take much of anything to help the community, only time and effort. Yes, the money given to me helped a lot, but I could just as easily have volunteered my time to help the animal shelter and put in the effort to make a difference. This was such a great opportunity for all of us in this program. Doing this project helped me to step out of my comfort zone and do something that would help my community. And I'm sure the same goes for the others who had the opportunity to participate in this project. I'd once again like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for this chance to learn. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Cohen Bible. For my Pay It Forward presentation, or project, I donated my $100 to New Life Ministry Church in Coshocton, Ohio. If you don't know where that is across from the fairground, Easier Words, or extension office. The way I came up with donating my money to New Life Ministries is through my mother, just like Tara. I didn't know what I wanted to do at first. I thought about doing the Junior Fair Board because I'm a part of that, so that was immediately my first thought. Later to find out, my mom told me, after we had no idea what we wanted to do, the next day she came to me and told me that I should donate to New Life Ministries. I immediately hopped on the idea because my old music teacher is actually, her father-in-law is the one who owns the church. So that's why I decided to do it. At first I was confused why she mentioned it, but then I hopped on it, like I said. Later to find out the previous church I had gone to actually donated money every couple months, or about every month. You walk in, you give change. I forgot about it when I was little, but it came back to me. We always used to donate money, change and all that, so that also helped. I went to donate my money to Mark Granger in the Bible, and he was in a Bible study, so he kind of looked at me weird when I got there, but later to find out he had no clue who I was, and I kind of forgot who he was for a second looking at him, but it all worked out in the end. He started telling me about how much it takes to do the pantry about every month. It's every third Thursday of each month. It's about $5 to $7 grand a month. And while I was there, he was telling me about how he had to go get 2 ballots the next day from Cleveland or Canton. I can't remember off the top of my head. That cost him around $10,000. I later in the conversation asked him how he was buying these meals, and he said he'd pretty much just do businesses, and like I said, he went to go get pallets, so he was already on that. But I asked him if he got a discount off anything. He said no, he had to buy everything full price, how everything was, and there was never really a discount. And I asked him how he did with COVID and how the pantry was. He said that honestly it was the best thing because all the schools around the county in the areas weren't asking for food, so he always had the opportunity to go get their food that they were supposed to be given to them. So I enjoyed giving my money to Mr. Granger. It felt rewarding to give a service in the community, since that's also why I wanted to stay in the community, because this is what CCYL is built around. And it's honestly, I've learned a lot, like from Ken Smales and all of them. I didn't know anything that much, but now I do. And Mr. Granger said that he had no clue what CCYL was, and he was glad to hear about the youth group community. And that Wiley Organics is a huge help for the party or pantry each year, but especially this year during the holiday of COVID and all that. They got over 150 probably families. He gave me a paper, and I looked at it. You'd be surprised how many families are around here that need food. And he said their pantry is about, I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, quite a few families. And he enjoys it, and he's glad to hear about the youth leadership and that he'd never heard of it. So I gave him more information on it, and he said he'd look out for it, and he was thankful that there was another group like that around town, and that he appreciated us donating to him, or me donating to him, but yeah.
Hello everybody, my name is Cole Tatro. I am a junior at Riverview High School, and ever since I started, before I even joined CCYL, I knew about this project, and I always thought, man, what's one way that I could spend my $100 that would just be different than everyone else? And I thought, why spend the $100 when I could raise more? So my idea this year was a raffle. But before I get into any of that, I believe I need to give you guys some background. Whenever I was in 4th grade at Conesville Elementary, I had a classmate named Emily Diamond. Sadly, she was diagnosed with cancer in her 3rd grade year. And I know that was just devastating, especially for me when I was a 4th grader. I barely understood what was going on, but all I knew is that I wanted to help. So, whenever I was in 4th grade, I decided that I was going to do a fundraiser for Emily. I baked cookies and I sold them by the dozen. I ended up making around $900 for her, and I know our school and just the whole Riverview community banded together to buy her an iPad so she could FaceTime us and all these wonderful things. We raised money for her family and just tried to make every situation better for them. Sadly though, in the end, she had lost the battle to cancer, and it was devastating for everyone. But I gotta say, even though all these sad events happened, I was so just in awe of how our whole community came together to help the family get through everything. So, for this year, I decided for my presentation I would host a raffle, and all of the money raised for that raffle I would donate to Akron's Children's Hospital in Emily's honor. For my project this year, I decided to host a raffle that would be to give away a dinner for two. This combined my love of cooking and my love of philanthropy. In the end, my project ended up raising around $1,500. Whenever I drew the winner, it ended up being Linda Burr. It was great that Linda won because her husband had recently died of cancer, and she just loved that I was doing this project. As I said, I donated the $1,500 to Akron's Children's Hospital, and they were enthused to be given that kind of money, and especially for the reason, and I received a very nice letter from them. So, for the $100 I was given from CCYL, I used that to purchase ingredients to cook for the meal that I would soon prepare for Linda and one of her friends. And Linda, she's not necessarily picky, but she didn't really want anything grand, so she told me to make a nice little home-style American meal. Now, I know what y'all may be wondering. What did you make for her? Well, let me tell you. I made a nice giant tomahawk steak. Actually, I'll just read you the list. I made a tomahawk steak, vegetables, a homemade coleslaw, black truffle smashed potatoes, green bean casserole, bread and oil, and a snickerdoodle cupcake that was delicious. Thank you. Linda decided to bring her good friend, Carolyn Darty, and honestly, I got to sit there with them as they ate, and I heard all the stories of Mike, who was Linda's husband, and all of her experience with fighting this terrible disease. and it really just warmed my heart to hear how well she was doing. I'd really like to say thank you to everyone who's bought a ticket or just donated money and helped me in any way possible. Because this project, I know Emily's mom contacted me, and it just meant so much to them, and it meant so much to me to bring back this final memory of Emily. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Melanie Wine, and I am a junior at Riverview High School. When I first heard about the Pay It Forward project, I struggled to figure out who I would make my donation to. Then, after a week or two, I began narrowing it down. I decided I would donate to a local organization, and one thing I've always been passionate about was animals. I grew up with an infinite love for animals, and that love only seemed to grow as I got older. My family is a firm believer in rescuing animals, so I grew up in what we like to call our funny farm. I also got a lot of experience with animals in 4-H and FFA. Now I bet you're wondering which local organization I chose. Well, I had several to choose from, like the Coshocton County Animal Shelter, but in the end I found that the Coshocton County Humane Society would be the receiver of my $100 donation. With the recent coronavirus outbreak, many donation-run organizations like the Coshocton County Humane Society have struggled to find funds. I contacted Raquel from the Humane Society, and she informed me that they were a no-kill humane society and that they kept their cats at TSC for adoption because they could not yet afford a facility for them. I also found out that they run a low-class clinic every month at TSC. This amazed me. These people helped these animals because they wanted to, not because they were getting paid or even recognized. I was humbled by their dedication to the Humane Society and the animals in our community. I asked to meet them at TSC to give them their donation. When I got there, I talked to Raquel from the Humane Society and how she got started into the organization. And then she let the cats out in the back of the store. I enjoyed watching them play around and even made a few new kitty friends. I spent hours in that small corner of TSC in awe of everything they were doing for the animals and the community. Having the opportunity to interact with them and seeing directly what my donation was going towards made me feel accomplished and grateful for the wonderful things they do. The staff told me that they were so happy to have me interested in their organization and that they needed more people like me to take an interest in their work. My donation would be put towards vet care and supplies for the animals in the Humane Society. While I was there visiting the staff and the animals, they had 9 people come in and take advantage of their low-cost clinic they offer. Seeing how many of the community needed and used this clinic showed me I made the right choice. The chance to be a part of such an outgoing organization was truly a privilege. I believe everyone should get the chance to help their community and see what they can do to make a difference. It only takes one person to make an impact. I hope this is only the beginning of my impact on my community. Thank you for everyone who allowed me to have this life-changing experience.
Hello, my name is Jillian Stamper, and I'm a junior at Riverview High School. First, I would like to start off by thanking the Coshocton Foundation for giving me the opportunity to use this money towards the greater good. I have always loved Christmas, ever since a young age. Some might call it a small obsession. You can catch me singing Christmas songs in June or wearing a Christmas sweater as soon as the weather starts to get cold. When I think of Christmas, I think of warm cookies, snow, hot cocoa, and lots of colorful lights. But I know that not all people think of happiness and joy when they think of the holidays. Some people might think of the money and the stress that comes along. I know how stressful the holidays can be, especially when you're trying to support your family. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I decided to use my money towards donating to Toys for Tots. I wanted to try to do what I could to help families who may have a hard time affording toys for their children. With my money, I went and I bought as many toys as possible that I could with my $100, and then I brought it to the Coshocton Fire Station. which is a local drop-off place for the Toys for Tots program. I wanted to do what I could to make Christmas less stressful for families and bring them the happiness that they deserve to have during the holiday season. I know that money is especially hard this year with the pandemic, and I know how hard it was to try and get into the Christmas spirit. That is why I chose to do a project that would be around the holiday season. The holiday season should be about love and good times with friends and family, not about the stress and the money. As the giver, I felt appreciative of not only the life I have been provided growing up, but also to have had the opportunity to help a child who may have needed a little spark of joy on Christmas. It meant a lot to me to have the opportunity to do what I could to help a little bit of the stress that may have been weighing on the shoulders of families. I know that personally I don't get to see the children's faces, but I could tell that the man who was there when I dropped off the donations at the fire station was lit up by how many bags I had brought in. This made me feel as if I was helping make a difference in my community. I would once again like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for providing me with the money that was used to give back. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Alec Lopper. I'm a student at Coshocton High School. And first, I'd like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for giving me an opportunity to donate this money to a cause of my choice. I acquired a passion for sports at a very young age. Sports have taught me a lot about myself as a person, and the experiences I've had, good and bad, have shaped me into the young leader that I am today. One of the things I have come to realize is that not every child is blessed with a financial situation that allows them to participate in organized sports as they please. It bothers me to know there are kids out there who don't get a chance to have all the great experiences that come with playing youth sports because of circumstances they can't control. My desire to make sure every kid at least gets the chance to play sports made it easy for me to choose a cause to give my money to. I donated my money to the local athletic facility Kids America's Help the Kids Play scholarship program. It is a fund that helps families in need pay for child's registration fees to participate in organized sports at the facility. The best part about giving the money away was knowing that I could make a difference in the lives of a couple of children looking to have some fun playing sports and hopefully grow as a person. By at least giving them a chance that they wouldn't have otherwise had. A person who also needed a chance, LeBron James. LeBron James is a perfect example of a kid just needing a chance. The NBA All-Star spent most of his childhood very poor, moving from couch to couch with a single mother. With those circumstances, one would assume that the little boy from Akron's chances of making it out were slim. But then a friend of LeBron's mother helped LeBron get into organized basketball, and the rest was history. I feel good knowing that a couple of kids in need will get that chance because of me. With senior year quickly approaching and my athletic career nearing an end, all I hope is maybe I started athletic careers for those who wouldn't otherwise be able to, and that they have just as many fun times, great experiences, and good memories that I did. Because if they do that, I know that I changed the lives of some kids for the better. Once again, I'd like to thank the Coshocton Foundation, my family, all my coaches and teammates I've met and made these memories with along the way, and Kids America for their great scholarship program and giving me a place to use my $100. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, my name is Britton McCoy and I attend Riverview High School. First, I would like to say thank you to the Coshocton Foundation for giving me the opportunity to pay it forward in the form of a $100 bill. When I first found out about this project in July at our retreat, I was very unsure of who I wanted to give my money to. I came to the conclusion that I wanted to give it to someone or a group that had impacted me directly. That's when I started thinking about people in my life. It took some thinking and quite a few people went through my mind, and then it hit me. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. This person has had a huge impact on my life, not only as a teacher, 4-H advisor, and volleyball coach, but her and her husband are good family friends of ours, and I am beyond grateful for them. Now, you're probably wondering who it is. I chose to give my money to Pat and Stephanie Snyder to put toward the Snyder Strong Memorial Scholarship Fund. I have had the privilege of knowing the Snyders for many years now. Pat and Stephanie are two of the most wonderful people I know. Many of you have probably heard of Snyder Strong. For those of you that haven't, Snyder Strong was created in memory of Pat and Stephanie's daughter Addie and their son Grady. Addie was born on July 6, 2012 and passed away 8 months later on March 26, 2013, awaiting a liver transplant. Although Addie was so young, she was an organ donor, and her kidneys went to someone in Massachusetts. I think organ donation is very important in knowing that you could save up to 8 lives from being one. Pat and Stephanie then had another child on March 10, 2014, whose name was Grady. Grady had many health complications as well and passed away 5 weeks later on April 20th, 2014. In memory of Addie and Grady, Pat and Stephanie started the Snyder Strong Scholarship. This scholarship is 2 $1,000 scholarships going to Riverview graduates that plan to go into the medical field. The reason this scholarship goes to graduates who are planning to go in the medical field is because Addie and Grady both spent a lot of time in the NICU, and Pat and Stephanie are truly grateful for the nurses and doctors who took care of Addie and Grady to try and save their lives. Pat and Stephanie had a lot of support during these tough times, but I can't even imagine having to go through that. Since all this occurred, Pat and Stephanie went through the adoption process and now have a little boy named Archie. For those of you that haven't met Archie, he is a full of energy, farm-loving, and cute little boy. I know that Pat and Stephanie are truly blessed to have Archie and all that he has brought to their family. One fundraiser/event that is held each year to help collect money to put towards the scholarship fund is the Snyder Strong Amazing Race. This is where you get a team of 4 together and you are sent out all across Coshocton to go to different places and complete different tasks. At the end of the night, they also have a hog roast dinner to help raise money. Now, to talk about when I gave the money. Stephanie is a teacher at my high school, and I have her for teen leadership, which happens to be the last class of my day. So after class one day, I went to her desk to explain to her about CCYL, the Pay It Forward project, and exactly why I chose to give it to her. While I was talking, her eyes began to fill with tears, which made my eyes fill with tears also. When I was done talking, she reached out to give me a hug and said, "I love you." This moment was extremely heartwarming because that showed me how truly grateful she was, and it made me feel like I was making a difference in the community as well as to her family. I will forever remember this moment, and I would like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Keely Murray and I am a junior at Coshocton High School. Before I get started, I would like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for giving me the opportunity to give out money for something that I am passionate about. It took me a while to figure out what or where I wanted to give this money to, but I knew I had time to think about it. All I knew is that I wanted to give it to something that has impacted my life. For a while, I had no idea where I wanted to donate the money, but then I thought about something I have a passion for, and that is softball. I decided to donate my money to the Ohio Bulldogs Elite Softball Organization. This organization was started in 2015. The founders of the organization, Tim and Becky Wyatt, decided to start this program in honor of their daughter, Celine Wyatt, who passed away. This girl was only 11 years old when this tragic event happened and had always had a strong love and passion to play softball. The softball organization has many different teams that range from 10 to 18-year-old girls. Each team plays each of their tournaments in honor of Celine. Though I had never got the privilege to meet her, some of my teammates did, and I've only ever heard of good things. The organization's name came about due to Celine's nickname being Bulldog. I came to the decision to donate to the Ohio Bulldogs Elite Organization because I have been a part of it for 6 years. I've been surrounded by so many amazing people, and this organization gives so many teens a chance to play softball at the next level. They have given out a scholarship every year that I have been a part of the team. Each receiver has felt so honored, and I took interest in being a part of that. I have been in contact with Celine's mom, Becky, for this project. I explained to her about the Coshocton County Youth Leadership Program Pay It Forward project and about how I wanted to give the donation to an organization that I have a passion for and have been a part of for so many years. She seemed very grateful and appreciative for the donation, and being able to do this for them makes me feel so good to know that I have a fellow softball player that will receive a scholarship to help further their career. As I know my donation was only a small part, it gives me great pride to know that I contributed to a part of it. Making this donation to the Ohio Bulldogs Elite Softball Program made me feel like I got to give back to the organization that has been a part of my life the past several years. Every summer, the organization hosts a tournament that is in honor of Celine Wild's memorial. At this tournament is when the scholarship is presented to a senior girl from Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, or Pennsylvania who plays or has played and wishes to further their softball career in college. The applicant has to demonstrate leadership, passion, commitment, and determination. This summer, my team will participate in this tournament, and I'll be excited to witness who will have the privilege to receive the scholarship. Again, I would like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for giving me this opportunity. The Pay It Forward project has helped the community in so many different ways, and I'm glad I got to take part in it this year.
Hello everyone, my name is Judah Nelson. I'm a junior at Coshocton High School, and I'm sure you guys have figured out by now that the Coshocton County Youth Leadership has been tasked with the Pay It Forward project. The first thing I wanted to do when I heard about this project is I wanted to find a charity. I bounced around a couple ideas in my head. I ended up talking to my parents about different organizations they had in mind, and I ended up finding an organization called A21. A21 is a human trafficking prevention organization, and they are global. They have different teams and support staff all across the world. They have prevention, and they spread a ton of awareness for human trafficking. That's so important because human traffickers like to strike when people are vulnerable. So they try to help get there before anyone has a chance to strike. They also have different survivor groups, and they help survivors get back into civilian life. They have different job support systems and other relationship systems to help them get back into the normal life. Once I decided on the charity, I wanted to do a certain program to raise more money than just the $100 gifted to me by the Coshocton Foundation. Just like a charity, I threw around a couple of different ideas, and I ended up landing on a discount card. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the discount card. I know Coshocton has done discount cards, and I think a couple other school districts have done that as well. And it's something I felt like I could execute. It seemed pretty straightforward on how I would go about it. So that's what I decided on doing. The first step for creating a discount card was just approaching businesses. So what I did is I made a form. On the form it detailed everything about myself, about the Coshocton Foundation, what I was doing, had all of my contact information on there, talked all about my charity, about A21, and everything the business would need to know to make that decision. A lot of times I would give the form to an employee just working there because the owner or someone that had to make that decision wasn't present. So a lot of times I would pass that form on, and then I end up receiving a call back from the owner or someone else later that on. I found some resistance when approaching businesses because it is a hard year for businesses with COVID, and so a lot of people did say no, unfortunately, as well as some businesses couldn't commit to a discount for a full year, which I can totally understand that. That's a hard thing to do for a business. But also, some businesses said yes. Like I went to Carino's Pizza right here in town, and I didn't even get done telling him about the charity or anything, and he gave me what discount he wanted, and I was off. I probably was in there a total of 2 minutes. So I've found some successes like that. Once I started visiting businesses, I needed to know how to even make a discount card. So I just typed in on YouTube how to make a business card because it's a more general search area. So once I looked online, see how to make a discount card, I ended up doing on Google Drawings, which is a system. I made a template, a business card template, and started designing it from there. I needed to decide on if I wanted to laminate it, because I know Coshocton had a discount card. It was a piece of paper that was laminated. I ended up deciding on going on a plastic business card. I felt that would be more durable and just overall a better product. So every time I'd get a new business discount, I would just fill that right into the template I had ongoing. So that's where I'm at right now in the project. Is I started to see some resistance from businesses. I had more resistance than I expected. I thought it would be a little more easier. So when the deadline was approaching for the project presentation, I thought maybe I should just donate the $100 to the charity altogether. But I ended up just deciding to stick with my project. I feel I could definitely do this. And so I think I am going to order the business cards this weekend. And I have most of the businesses already in the discount card. I'm just waiting for a couple other people to get back to me, and then I will order the business cards. I plan to order from Vistaprint, which is a online company. I found that I can order 100 plastic business cards from Vistaprint. It'll cost me about $115 after taxes and shipping, which I realize that's above the $100 gifted me by the Coshocton Foundation, but I didn't think anyone would mind if I loaned myself $15. So if I sell all 100 plastic business cards, which I think that will probably be the easiest part of the whole situation, I think I'm probably at the hardest part now, that would be $1,000, so 100 times 10. And then if minus the $115 that I spent to get the business card, so it's about an $885 profit that I could donate to A21. I already have about 15 people, friends and family, that have already purchased the business card, and I plan to get plenty more. I feel like that would be a pretty easy task once I have the business cards. So with that in mind, if anyone would like to purchase a business card, or not a business card, the discount card, then I guess I've been saying that the whole time, but the discount card, they can talk to me later, try to get in contact with me. I know Betsy has my contact information, and we can do that for sure. Thank you guys, appreciate it for letting me speak.
Good morning. My name is Katie Collins, and I'm a junior at Coshocton High School. First off, I would like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for allowing me, as well as my fellow classmates, for this opportunity. During our opening retreat, I remember Bob Pell coming in and talking to us about the Pay It Forward project, and basically telling us about how there had been some pretty memorable projects in the past, and thinking to myself, I want to have one of those projects. I had no clue what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to give back to a community that has done so much to me. I'd come up with an idea, but immediately after, I'd come up with a new one, and the cycle just kept on going. Fast forward a couple months later, I'm having a conversation with my mom, and I tell her I have no clue what I'm going to do for this project, but I have a month to figure it out. She told me to stop, take a second, and think about what it meant to pay something forward. And I told her it made me think of when you'd buy someone's food behind you in a drive-thru, or if somebody behind you at the grocery store had a couple things and you'd pay for that. And immediately, as soon as I said that, I knew what I had to do. The next day, I went and purchased 4 $20 gift cards, 2 of those being for Bueller's and the other 2 for Aldi. I knew it was only $20, but I knew $20 could really help someone out during the times we were in and make someone's day. For the other $20, I decided to buy a gift card for Coshocton Coffee Connection, which just so happens to be where I work. I decided to dedicate $20 here because I knew how many people came in and how oftentimes the smallest gesture can go the farthest. One man in particular really stuck out to me. When I told him that I had taken care of his coffee, he had asked me why. I had explained to him that I was a member of Coshocton County Youth Leadership and we were tasked with giving back to our community in any way we saw fit. He then went on to tell me how much he appreciated this small gesture and how he was glad that there were youth in our community trying to make a positive impact. He then asked if he could pay for the car behind him, and immediately a domino effect happened. The next thing I knew, no one was paying for their orders, and they were each paying for the person behind them. Now, if I'm being honest, I just expected people to take the free coffee and leave, but that clearly wasn't the case. I paid for the first drink around 8 a.m. when my shift started, and I didn't use all of my $20 gift card until 1 p.m. when my shift ended. After my shift, I felt like I was on cloud 9. I'd never felt that way before, but I was glad I felt that way. I then headed to Aldi, and I walked up to the cashier, and I told her who I was and that I was a part of youth leadership and that I had purchased 2 $20 gift cards previously and that I would like her to donate them to somebody she felt that was fit to receive these gift cards. As soon as I told her, her face lit up, and she told me how excited she was that I was trying to help and give back to the community, and how words couldn't even describe how glad she was that we were a part of an organization that was trying to make a difference. I then drove across the street to Bueller's and did the exact same thing and gave them the exact same rundown I had been giving all day. This cashier was also extremely excited that I was giving back, and she was also excited that she was able to help me give back in that process. She was full of excitement due to the fact that she had never done or experienced anything like this before. Overall, this experience has been life-changing, and I'm extremely thankful to have been able to make people's days in our community with some simple, small gestures. This whole experience has inspired me to continue to give back, as I loved seeing the smiles of appreciation and gratitude on people's faces. Once again, I would like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for allowing me this opportunity. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Liam Stevens-Woolery, and I'm a junior at Riverview High School. When deciding where to donate my money I was given by the Coshocton Foundation, I had only one goal. I wanted the money to count. I wanted it to go somewhere that would actually be meaningful. However, this task seemed pretty difficult, and it was. I had to do a lot of research on various organizations to figure out where it would go. However, I do know one thing about money, actually two. The first thing is I know how to hide it from my 3 other siblings, and the second is I know how to invest it. When you invest, you spread the money across various organizations so you have the best chance of making a profit, and donating kind of runs off the same principles. When you donate, you make sure it goes to various organizations so it has the best chance of making it count. Off this idea, I decided that I wanted to donate my money to the Coshocton United Way. I chose to donate my money to this organization for 2 main reasons. The first was they divide the money that they're given across various sponsors, places that they sponsor, like the Red Cross or the Salvation Army. The second is what they support the BSA, or the Boy Scouts of America, which I'm a part of. So really donating the money to this organization was kind of a win-win. So, like most of my fellow classmates will say, and what I would say, is donating the money felt pretty good. I would also have to say that, like most everyone would say, the receiver also probably felt pretty good about receiving the money, maybe even gracious. Who knows? However, as typical and as a predictable response this could be, it couldn't be any more true. Just simply knowing the fact that you can make a difference off maybe $100 or maybe even $5, it doesn't really matter. Just knowing that the slightest amount of money can actually make a difference in someone else's life is a pretty good thing to think about. Well, to wrap up, I would have to thank the Coshocton Foundation for giving me the $100 and the opportunity to actually do this project, to actually take some time to research different organizations and to figure out where money can actually be best spent. Thanks.
My name is Benjamin Unkefer. I'm a junior at Riverview High School. I'd first like to thank the Coshocton Foundation for giving me the $100 to be able to donate. I decided to donate to the Valentine Project, which is founded by the Margitas family. They are based in Alliance, Ohio, and they send packages to kids with chronic illnesses all over the state of Ohio. I've seen firsthand what these packages mean to people. I have a sister with chronic illnesses that has received some of these packages. I've seen the joy that they bring. They reach into homes and touch lives in a way nothing else can, and kind of gives us a way to stand with families when struggle is no stranger. I first decided to put together a raffle basket, spent a couple of days calling businesses for donations, and I was overwhelmed with the generosity I found. We got donations from about 15 businesses, and the raffle basket ended up being worth about $850 with $200 in gift cards. I can't remember the exact time frame for where we were selling tickets. We advertised on the Beacon and WTNS, and about February 1st, due to some crazy weather and a deadline for them, I drove down to them and gave them all the money that we had raised for them so far, which was $2,600 at that point. That's where I really saw kind of the impact that it had with them. When I handed over the money to the main founder, Andrea Margita, I could visibly see tears coming to her eyes, and they talked about how they were like kind of thinking about how it is that they were going to be able to kind of get packages to every single kid that had been signed up to receive a package. At that point, I think they needed about $5,000 to be able to sponsor all of the kids that had signed up and hadn't had a sponsor already. It felt really good to be able to kind of help them get that money and be able to sponsor those kids. There's no greater feeling than kind of being able to give. So over the course of 3 weeks, we had about 107 people buy tickets, which brought the grand total that they were able to receive to 3,250. That was enough to sponsor 65 kids. And then through the course of this project, I learned of a family in this area that recently one of the kids got a diagnosis, and so I put together a package for each of the kids. That's 4 kids. That is a total of 69 kids that have been reached. I'd like to again thank the Coshocton Foundation for being able to give me this chance to be able to give to the community. I'd also like to thank everyone who's bought tickets and being able to make this possible, and for all the businesses that so graciously donated to the basket. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Allie Miser, and I too am a junior at Riverview High School. And this morning, I'm going to share my Pay It Forward project with you all. So I chose to pay it forward to the Coshocton County Pregnancy Distress Center by conducting a diaper drive. I wanted to see if I could grow my $100 that I was given. This is a picture of a flyer that basically started off my project. I posted a picture of it on my social media pages, my church's website, bulletins, and Facebook page at Perry Chapel Baptist Church. One of my teachers at school also offered to send out a district-wide email to all of the teachers with my flyer. I included these facts on the flyer. Oh, sorry, can you go back to that one? Thank you. So did you know that diapers are not covered under government assistance programs and that 23% of WIC, women, infants, and children recipients in Ohio are infants? That's why I'm hoping to collect as many diapers as possible to bless our local women and children in need. This information was a real eye-opener for me and hopefully to those who chose to donate. So the Coshocton Pregnancy Distress Center is a nonprofit agency whose purpose is to help expectant mothers on limited incomes gather what they need for themselves and their babies. It is affiliated with the Sacred Heart Ministries here in Coshocton and is staffed with caring volunteers that are interdenominational. The center advocates for pro-life of the unborn and will accept donations of clothes, diapers, and any other items that expectant mothers may need. It is located at 819 Main Street. So you might be wondering why I chose this ministry as my Pay It Forward project. First of all, I was born on June 21st, 2004 in Licking County. That same year, over 31,000 babies lost their lives in Ohio due to abortion. In Licking County alone, there were 259, and thanks to my dad, I was not number 260. He chose life for me and has been parenting me with the help of my grandparents ever since. I could have easily ended up being raised by a single mother, much like those that the Coshocton County Pregnancy Distress Center helps today. I will be honest, I had no idea what the response would be to my diaper drive. I figured I would end up having to spend my $100 on diapers just, have a big enough number to donate, but I was really wrong. I was truly amazed by the outpouring of kindness from my teachers, family, friends, and my church family. As of today, I will be able to take 5,014 diapers to the center tomorrow after school. Many people have still been coming up to me to tell me that they're still planning on donating diapers next week, so I will definitely have more to add to this total. Oh, sorry, can you go to the next slide? So, as you can see, and this actually isn't all of the diapers, I pretty much filled up the back of our Ford Explorer. I was curious as to how much I grew my $100, so I did some research and found out that the prices of each individual diaper and brand of diaper, and the total amount of money that I ended up raising was about $1,012. And that's not all. Next slide. As I said before, the center will take all kinds of donations for babies. So one lady that goes to my church came up to me and asked me one Sunday if I would take baby blankets. And the next week she brought in, oh sorry, those are just some more pictures. She brought in 5 blankets that she homemade herself. They were beautifully crafted. The ones on the top are both quilts, like the one has like little farm animals on it. It's really cute. But she handmade the blankets herself, and I was very grateful for her donation. And I also received some packages of wipes totaling 1,416 individual wipes. Because of the huge amount of diapers that I ended up receiving, I was able to spend my $100 elsewhere at the pregnancy center. My grandpa reads the Coshocton Beacon, and he told me that the pregnancy center had an article, and I asked if I could read it. They reported that they were in need of donations for layettes, and I was like, what the heck is a layette? I don't even know what that is. But I asked my grandma about it because, she knew what it was. And it's basically just like a kit that the pregnancy center puts together and gives to expecting mothers with basic necessities like, as you can see in the picture, sleepers, onesies, bibs, blankets, and things like that. Each layette cost around $50, so I was able to pay it forward with the money that I had and ended up buying 2 layettes for the center. So before I end my presentation, I want to say thank you to the Coshocton Foundation for donating $100 for my Pay It Forward project, and I also want to give a big thank you to Betsy for all of her hard work and patience with us. Being a part of CCYL this year has been such a growing experience for me, and I am so blessed to be a part of it, so thank you for giving me the opportunity. So, next slide. I'm going to conclude my presentation with one of my favorite verses that I personally think really hits the mark for my whole project. And it's Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you, not harm you, and plans to give you a hope and a future." Thank you.
This concludes our Pay It Forward presentations for the class of 2021. once again, I believe that the youth in our community really demonstrated the true meaning of paying it forward in their giving spirits that helped so many in our community, whether it's animals or individuals with a terminal illness, donating to the Pregnancy Distress Center, so many wonderful and worthy projects. So on behalf of the Coshocton Foundation, on behalf of the Coshocton County Youth Leadership, I want to thank members of the community who continue to donate and support the Coshocton Foundation. Without the support of our community, quite honestly, the foundation would not be able to do the good work that it does in the community, and programs such as Coshocton County Youth Leadership would not be available. I hope that people who are listening today or watching realize that not every county, not every community is so fortunate as Coshocton is to have a youth leadership program such as this. It truly is just one of a few across the state of Ohio. And so my message to everyone today is that the youth are the future of our country. They're the future of our world. We need to invest in our futures, and by investing in our youth, we are investing in our futures. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, kids. Another round of applause for all of you. You did a fantastic job this morning.